Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to Ashland Tonight News. Today is Wednesday, October 31st, and here's a look at today's top stories.
A North Carolina beach house caught fire, killing 7 college students. Hear more when we come back.
Richland County's courthouse closed Monday due to bomb threats. We'll have the details up next.
In celebration of Halloween, TV2 got a little festive. We have safety tips for anyone carving pumpkins or trick-or-treating. I'm Brittany Lee.
And I'm Kelly Ruskowitz, and you're watching Ashland Tonight News for local coverage you care about. It's all coming up next. Good times turned into a fiery blaze at a beach house in North Carolina, killing 7 people. The storm of fire and smoke killed 6 students from University of South Carolina and 1 student from Clemson University. 6 other South Carolina students in the house survived. Investigators believe the fire was likely accidental and started in the rear of the house that appeared to be mostly heavily damaged.
The Ashland County Jail is back to normal tonight, but that was far from the case this morning. Shortly after 9, officers working in the jail smelled smoke, but could not pinpoint where it was coming from. Smoke was then seen in the housing area of the jail. The Ashland County Fire Department responded and was unable to determine the source of the smoke.
Residents of Cincinnati had quite the show this past weekend when a deer somehow ended up downtown. Cincinnati police and animal control specialists were called and tried to capture it. However, the deer had other plans. The deer put up a violent fight, but eventually Officer Daniel Cutter was able to subdue the deer. The deer was examined by officials and eventually released back into the wild.
The Cleveland area with the zip code 44105 has recently been ranked as the location with the most foreclosure in the United States. The Cleveland City Council met Monday night and passed 2 resolutions to help resolve this issue. According to Councilman Anthony Brancotti, the first resolution will make grants available to help with the empty property problem, and the second resolution will help bankrupt homeowners make changes to their mortgage. In 2006, the Cuyahoga-Cleveland area led the state in filings, with Montgomery County and Dayton coming in second.
Things are settling down after Richland County's courthouse shut down Monday due to bomb threats. Calls warned that a bomb was planted in the courthouse in Mansfield and would go off around 2 p.m. The building was closed for the day, and the bomb-sniffing dogs were brought in to search. There were no suspects for these threats.
Ashland County's unemployment rate has risen from 4.5% in August to 6% in September. According to Dennis Evans of the Ashland County Department of Job and Family Services, the rate increase can be attributed to the end of summer unemployment and the raising gas prices and housing market. With labor forces of 27,600 people, there are 1,700 unemployed, ranking Ashland County 31st in the state based upon the unemployment rates arranged from highest to lowest. Unemployment rates across the state have also climbed, with Ohio having a record of 5.9% in September, which is a 0.2% increase from August and a 0.4% increase from last year. Up next, we have a Halloween treat for you. Pumpkin carving and candy tips, all next on Ashland Tonight News. Stay tuned.
And now, another fact of Congress. Like a tree, our national government has 3 branches. First, there is the President of the United States, called the Executive Branch. The President is like your school principal. He makes important policy decisions on things like the environment and health care. He's also the Commander-in-Chief of the military. A second branch is Congress, called the Legislative Branch. The main job of the Legislative Branch is to debate and pass laws. They also oversee the activities of the President. Finally, there is the court system, or the Judicial Branch. Sometimes people disagree about what laws mean, so we ask judges to help us decide. The Supreme Court is the ultimate judge of the land. These 3 branches of government work together to form a complete system. And that's another fact of Congress.
Ashland Theological Seminary, transforming the world. One pastor.
One counselor. One city.
One campus.
One village.
One family.
One teacher.
One crisis. One missionary.
One shelter.
One church. Transforming the world one student at a time.
As parents, we do whatever is necessary to ensure the health of our children. Sadly, most parents don't realize that their child's first eye exam with an eye doctor should be between the age of 6 and 12 months. I urge you to take your baby to an optometrist for a comprehensive eye assessment. It can literally change your child's vision of the future.
Infancy optometrists offer a no-charge eye assessment for infants 12 months old or younger. Call today to find an optometrist near you.
Welcome back for TV2's Halloween special. Consumers are expected to shell out nearly $5 billion this year in all of the name of Halloween, according to the National Retail Federation's 2007 Halloween Consumer Intentions and Action Survey. About 95% of those participating in the survey said they were likely to buy candy for this Halloween this year. 90% of parents surveyed said they would be likely to swipe sweets from their children's trick-or-treat bags. And of course, you cannot have Halloween without pumpkins. 40% of the individuals surveyed said they had plans to carve pumpkins this year.
Well, here at TV2, we joined carving pumpkins earlier, and producer Mike Hartz, Kelly, and I put together the following segment, a pumpkin carving 101. Let's take a look.
All right, so we're here getting ready to carve pumpkins. I'm joined by Kelly Ruskowitz and Brittany Lee, and I'm Michael Hartz. So what are we doing here?
We're going to carve some sweet pumpkins.
Because as you know, today is Halloween.
That's right.
So we thought that we'd bring a little festivities to you.
All right, so what's the first step?
I think we need knives.
We have a full array of knives here on set.
But first, we want to make sure we clean the pumpkins.
All right, well, luckily Kelly went ahead of the game here and has cleaned all of our pumpkins.
I did.
So what did you do?
All I did was take some wet paper towel, make sure you have it on hand so you keep a nice clean area. And then I just got some water, some light soap, and then just kind of whipped it down so you got rid of the dirt so you were able to have a nice clean slate to work with. Remember, when you're selecting a pumpkin, you want to make sure that size doesn't matter. So make sure you just don't have a bruised pumpkin, but make sure it's pretty big so you can make a detailed pattern on your pumpkin. Also make sure that it has a nice flat face so that it doesn't roll around when you're trying to work with it. Also, you want to make sure that you're looking for pumpkins with a nice sturdy stem. This is a sign of a healthy pumpkin. Don't lift the pumpkin by the stem though, because this can damage the pumpkin and make it age faster. The next step is to actually begin carving your pumpkin. Start by making cuts around the top of the pumpkin. Make sure the knife is dry and you're always cutting away from yourself.
And not towards anybody else.
Look! Ta-da!
I am cutting the top off to remove the excess pumpkin seeds so that it has a nice flat surface.
I just want to make sure that I'm scraping it and cleaning it out real clean, getting all those guts out. I'm almost done. It's taking me a while.
Why do you want to get them all out?
Well, that way that the excess guts won't burn when the candle's in there. So that way I have a nice clean finish in there, and it'll be nice and flat for when I have to have a candle in there to light up the face.
Well, I carved pumpkins all the way up until I think it was 4th grade.
Oh.
At which point I
Tell me, you
was holding a knife like this with hands just like this, nice and wet.
Ew.
And my hands slipped down the blade and I nearly cut off my thumb. So I took a few years off from pumpkin carving.
Yeah.
And now he's right back at it.
So I make 2 triangle eyes because I want to make sure it's traditional, but yet we want to do some angry eyebrows. So he's scary.
Like a unibrow?
I don't know if
That's
those are really
pretty angry.
eyebrows. And there's pumpkin guts on the face. Okay, so then we'll do an upside down triangle for a nose. And then what kind of mouth do we want? Do we want one that has lots of jagged teeth? Sure. I think that'll be fun.
And the best way to actually remove your carvings is push from the inside outwards, because if you push them in, then you gotta try and get them out of your pumpkin.
And might get stuck.
Thanks, Mike.
No problem. All right, so we just finished up our pumpkin carvings. The seeds are in the oven cooking, and we're ready to share our finished product. So I'll start us off here. I've got my nice little design. Might not look like much until Brittany's comes into play here.
Okay, his is TV, and then mine is 2.
Oh, there it is.
Nice. And what do I have?
The self-portrait.
A scary thing.
It's a festive Halloween jack-o'-lantern. And the tooth is actually falling out. I
It's
think
okay.
he ate
It
too
looks-
much Halloween candy.
It looks good. It's fine.
That's great. So, just a big happy Halloween to all you viewers. And up next, I guess we'll do some more Halloween safety tips.
We'll send it back to you girls at the desk.
That's right.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Now for some helpful reminders for those trick-or-treaters out there. First, children should go out during daylight hours and be accompanied by a responsible adult. Plan a safe route so parents know where their older kids will be at all times. Stay in well-lit areas at all times as well. Instruct your children not to eat treats until they are at home to be examined by an adult. Lastly, instruct your child to never go out into the home of a stranger or get into their car.
Here are some easy tips to remember for your child's safety. Make sure your child carries a flashlight, glow stick, or has reflective tape on their costume to make them more visible to cars. Help your child to pick out a costume that is fireproof and eye holes that are big enough. If you have jack-o'-lanterns on your porch with candles, place them far away so kids' costumes do not catch on fire. Treating your kids to a spooky Halloween dinner will make them less likely to eat the candy they collect before you get the chance to check it for them. Well, we'll find out how the spooky evening will be. Stay tuned for your weather updates with Leland Gottlieb. Ashland Tonight News will be right back.
Okay, so we get over there.
Our children want to know everything about the world around them. And yet sometimes what they discover makes them feel vulnerable and insecure. In times like these, they need the comfort of an adult, the honesty of parents, and playtime to help them deal with their feelings and fears. Time that will literally heal their hearts. The gift of imagination allows children to see a better world. Playtime allows them a chance to practice creating it. Don't underestimate the power of play.
But if you complete the journey, you will find your destiny among the world's greatest warriors. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Welcome back. I'm Leland Gottlieb with your weather today. I hope all of you enjoyed the mild readings outside while they lasted. As you can see, we had temperatures in the upper 60s around our area, and southern communities in Columbus saw temperatures reach 70 degrees today. While the average is 59, we were 10 degrees or so above average. Now, as we shift our attention to the west, you can see cooler readings moving into our area. Now, with these cooler readings, we will see a cold front move through. As we take a look at your current picture, you can see that there is a cold front, and this cold front is moving through the midsection of the country right now. However, there's just a few sprinkles with it because there's little moisture to work with because it's moving so fast. As we take a look at the winds right now, however, that's another story as we see winds reaching 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts, and these will move into our area later this evening. However, I don't see much in the way of precipitation or winds for this evening for trick-or-treaters. This shouldn't reach here till around 12 o'clock. As we take a look at your 3-day forecast, however, we'll see temperatures more seasonable. Highs will be in the upper 50s, while lows in the lower 30s. But it will be pretty nice out with sunny conditions. That's all I have for weather. Now with sports, here's Matt Brubank.
Thanks, Lee. I am Matt Brubaker. Now let's get right to the action from this past week in Ashland sports. The AU football team continued their winning ways last week against rival Findlay, as the AU defense applied pressure in a 34 to 10 victory. Ashland had 7 sacks, intercepted 2 passes, and recovered 1 UF fumble. Findlay made 6 trips into the red zone and only scored twice. AU sophomore quarterback Billy Cundiff completed 16 of 25 passes for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. Cundiff's favorite target was senior wide receiver Brandon Gilmore, who had 5 catches for 144 yards and 1 touchdown. The TD was a 50-yard strike from Cundiff's and was Gilmore's first touchdown of the season. Sophomore running back DeJuan Harvey recorded his second 100-yard rushing day of the year. Harvey had a career-high 124 yards on 12 carries. His day included an 87-yard touchdown run. For the Eagles, this was their biggest offensive outburst against Findlay since a 46-14 victory in 1998. The 24-point margin of victory was the largest against UF since the 32-point win in 1998. The AU soccer team lost to Findlay on Saturday 2-1 at Rainey Community Stadium. The Oilers used 2 goals in less than 7 minutes to defeat Ashland 2-1. With the win, Findlay is 10-7 overall, 5-3 in the GLIAC play. The loss could quite possibly mean AU's season is over. At 7-9-1 overall, 3-4-1 in the league play, the Eagles needed Saginaw Valley to lose to Northwood on Saturday to force some sort of a tiebreaker between the Eagles and SVSU. Freshman Danny Lamb started the scoring with her 6th goal of the season at 47-28 off of an assist from freshman Beth Moore. Things looked as if they were under control for Ashland until the Oilers' Megan McCracken scored off of a deflection in the goal box, and later Amanda Backmeyer used a cross from Sarah Jones to score from 5 yards out and give Findlay a lead it would never relinquish. The men's soccer team also defeated by the Oilers Saturday and began playing Northwood on Monday. The Oilers won 5-2 in rainy, windy, muddy conditions, and the game had 36 fouls, 8 yellow cards, and 7 goals. Northwood defeated the Eagles 3-1 on Monday. NU improved to 8-6-2 overall, 6-3-1 in league play. Ashland finished the year 0-17-1 and 0-9-1 in the GLIAC. The Ashland University tennis team capped off the best year in school history with a 7th place finish at the GLIAC tournament in Midland, Michigan over the weekend. AU entered the weekend at 15-2 overall and the number 3 seed in the tournament. In the first match of the weekend, Ashland lost to number 6 Wayne State 5-2. Sophomore Megan Stoll won at number 3 in singles, and freshman Myra Pepino and Corrine Paisley won their number 2 doubles match. The loss put the Eagles into the 5th place match against number 7 Ferris State as the Bulldogs pulled a 5-4 upset. Pepino and senior Morgan Sanders won their singles matches, while the teams of Catherine Gowdy, Stoll, and Pepino Paisley won their doubles matches. Ashland finished the weekend with the 7th place match against number 8 Saginaw Valley State. The Eagles closed out their season on a positive note with a 6-3 victory. AU ended the season with a record of 16-4 overall, 7-2 in the GLIAC, and a 3rd place finish in the regular season. Pepino was named the GLIAC's Freshman of the Year and also was a first-team All-GLIAC selection. Both awards for Pepino were the first in school history for an Eagles tennis player. The number 9 Ashland University volleyball team concludes its regular season with 2 home GLIAC contests this weekend. Friday, November 2nd at 7 versus Wayne State, and Saturday, November 3rd at 1 versus number 13 Hillsdale. AU is 24-3 overall, 13-2 in GLIAC play, and sits in first place tie with Hillsdale. The winner of Saturday's match will almost assuredly be the GLIAC South Division champ. As a team, Ashland has been at the top of the GLIAC conference all year. Here are several categories that AU sits atop among GLIAC competition. first in opponent hitting percentage at .089, second in assists per game at 12.42, second in kills per game 15.66, second in blocks per game at 2.66, third in digs at 17.98, and third in hitting percentage at .253. That's all I have for sports this week. Stay tuned to Ashland Tonight News. Up next is Natina Keys with your Entertainment Tonight News.
My father taught me a lot about life, without ever saying a word. When I was a little girl, my friends were all just like me. His never were.
Hello, hello. Didn't you bring them, George?
I thought you were going to.
No, I brought them last time.
Huh? You're all right. I forgot. All right, so we'll be with...
I used to wonder, why would a Jew, a Christian, and a Muslim ever get together?
It was him!
And then I finally got it. They had a lot more in common than donuts.
Friendship. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
With diabetes, you feel more vulnerable.
Every day is a new challenge.
Diabetes has made me improve my life. I take better care now.
I could actually die from the flu.
Being in control is the only way to survive.
A flu shot? Guess you could say it's like a life preserver when you have diabetes.
I'm going to ask my doctor for a flu shot today.
1 in 8 Americans goes hungry. One idea helped change that. A community started a garden that blossomed into farmers markets. 1 in 6 children lives in poverty. One group of women found an answer by opening a daycare center that their neighbors could afford. Today, 36 million Americans live in poverty. But one by one, people are helping themselves and each other to change the picture of poverty to one of hope. For easy ways you can help, visit povertyusa.org.
Welcome back to Ashland Tonight News. I'm Natina Keys with some entertaining news. A book about Britney Spears is hitting the shelves, but it's not written by her ex-husband, Kevin Federline. It's written by her mom. The book is called Pop Culture Mom, a real story of fame and family in the tabloid world. It chronicles Lynn Spears' life, raising her family under the media spotlight. But don't expect any juicy bits of information about Britney's recent meltdown. Lynn Spears says the book is definitely not a tell-all. The book hits the shelves May 11th. And speaking of Britney, it looks like she is challenging a court order requiring her to get random drug tests. Court documents show Spears wants to eliminate or change the order that was part of her custody battle with Kevin Federline. Spears is also asking to be allowed to have overnight visits with their 2 sons. There's no word yet on how the judge will respond. It looks like no one will face charges for the scuffle between Tommy Lee and Kid Rock during the MTV Video Music Awards. The much publicized fight was caught on tape. The Clark County District Attorney's Office decided to drop the case because no one was injured during the fight. Kid Rock was originally cited for misdemeanor battery for slapping Tommy Lee. Neither Tommy Lee nor Kid Rock commented on the situation. Well, she may be trying to do something good with her life, but Paris Hilton will have to wait a little while longer. Her trip to Rwanda with the Playing for Good Foundation has been postponed. Hilton had planned to visit schools and health clinics in the poor African nation. However, the charity says they had to postpone the trip due to some restrictions going on within their organization. Hilton announced her plans to travel to Rwanda after she spent 23 days in jail for a probation violation. That's all I have for entertainment this week. Now here's Emily Tibbetts for your weekly health updates.
Thanks, Natina.
Elmer's Glue will investigate safety standards of their products after Consumer Reports magazine found high levels of lead in children's glue sticks. The lead was found in orange caps from 7 Elmer's glue sticks. There is no standard for lead in plastics. It was found that there was 3 times the amount allowed in paint. In light of Halloween, science is beginning to understand a major medical problem that may reduce irrational yet damaging fears. When irrational fears go haywire, they can cause anxiety attacks that interrupt one's daily activities. Progress has been made in controlling these attacks through counseling, self-study, calming, exercises, and introspection. Scientists have also been working on controlling fear by examining the relationship between fear in the brain and the body. Found to be a chemical reaction in the amygdala in the brain, fear may be treated by drugs to strengthen a good chemical reaction. D-cyclosin, a drug that is used to fight tuberculosis, but has been found to be effective in moderating fears of people when used in conjunction with counseling. Chili peppers are being used in surgery, or at least the capsicum that makes the pepper hot. Using an ultra-purified version of the capsicum, the pepper should numb the exposed nerves for weeks after highly painful operations. If it works, patients would be under less pain and require fewer painkillers as they recover. Capsaicin is also being mixed with another anesthetic in hopes that epidurals will not confine women to bed during childbirth, as well as many other uses. It is hoped that the capsicum can be used instead of morphine and its relatives, as they have serious side effects. If it works, the benefits of the new procedure would limit the use of these drugs and other painkillers that affect the entire body, not just the wound. That's all I have tonight for health news. I'm Emily Tibbetts, only on Ashland Tonight News. Stay tuned for more AU news.
And now, another fact of Congress. Like a tree, our national government has 3 branches. First, there is the President of the United States, called the Executive Branch. The President is like your school principal. He makes important policy decisions on things like the environment and health care. He's also the Commander-in-Chief of the military. A second branch is Congress, called the Legislative Branch. The main job of the Legislative Branch is to debate and pass laws. They also oversee the activities of the President. Finally, there is the court system, or the Judicial Branch. Sometimes people disagree about what laws mean, so we ask judges to help us decide. The Supreme Court is the ultimate judge of the land. These 3 branches of government work together to form a complete system. And that's another fact of Congress.
Ashland Theological Seminary, transforming the world.
One pastor.
One counselor.
One city. One campus.
One village.
One family.
One teacher. One crisis. One missionary.
One shelter.
One church. Transforming the world, one student at a time.
As parents, we do whatever is necessary to ensure the health of our children. Sadly, most parents don't realize that their child's first eye exam with an eye doctor should be between the age of 6 and 12 months. I urge you to take your baby to an optometrist for a comprehensive eye assessment. It can literally change your child's vision of the future.
Infancy optometrists offer a no-charge eye assessment for infants 12 months old or younger. Call today to find an optometrist near you.
Welcome back to Ashland Tonight News.
Family Weekend 2007 promises to be full of excitement. Activities that appeal to all families are planned for this weekend. Your time can be spent visiting the campus, cheering on the Eagles, enjoying a theater event, or trying your luck at Monte Carlo night.
Seniors, don't forget graduation applications are due tomorrow, November 1st, and to be turned into the registrar's office with a $75 graduation fee. Any applications turned in after November 1st will have to pay a late fee.
This Saturday night, join the Tech Movie Crew with the movie at 9 p.m. in the Student Center. They will be showing the movie.
Don't forget this Saturday at 1 p.m. to cheer on your Ashland Eagle football team against Wayne State. So, girls, what do you guys plan on doing this weekend?
I'm seeing Saw 4.
Ooh, Saw 4.
I think I'm going to try to get down in the musical Secret Garden.
I'm really excited.
Looks very good.
That's right. Well, that about does it for tonight's Ashland Tonight News. We would just like to thank our TV2 crew, and if you're interested in helping out for Ashland's TV2 station, just email tv2@ashland.edu.
Also, remember to send in your questions to Ask TV2 for AU President What Thinks Things.
That's right, and don't forget to join us next week. We'll be here in the studio on Wednesday at 5.
Thanks for joining us.
Have a great night, everyone.
Good night.